I'll be showing how to add PyTorch Lightning custom project to our ecosystem CI. So we just briefly introduce what the ecosystem CI is. So we have this project which is mainly just aggregating multiple projects from a PyTorch Lightning ecosystem, and the motivation is that we basically want to have be fully transparent with all our Lightning development and what will be the future changes in future releases, and give a chance to Lightning users to align with everything which we are working on. We have already written short blog post which also summarize our motivation for this project, which I can share later with you. Basically, the story behind it is that it can happen to anyone, that you are developing on your own project and then you are working with some API, but the API may eventually change in the future. And you will notice that this is changed just when it's released. And on the other hand, when it's released, it's usually quite late for you to do any changes. So we are thinking that it would be very beneficial for any developer to know that some changes are coming, because basically it can be, if you have for example with SciPy, that you would change some filter parameter, and this change could land in the repository like summer 2021, but it will be released by winter 2022. But as it is already part of the code base, so you would be able to work with it. So that's why we said that you can test regularly with PyTorch Lightning nightly, and on any given version you are working on. So coming back to the project, so the project is offering testing with CPU and GPU, and the configuration which we ask for a user to add is adding simple YAML file when you describe what is your project, what are, let's say, some specialties about your project. So if we go to the sample or the demo config, so we define what's the target repository, which is your project. Then we define contact person, because we also offer some notifications if something went wrong, so you would know, so you would be notified on Slack at this moment. Then we have some custom steps, like that if you need to build or install some specific library, for example FFmpeg or anything for your package, then you can also do it. Such you can define some environment variable which are usually used for building your package. For example, when we were working with Horovod, so they need to specify some environment variable to build for specific environment, so you can do it here. You can also use this arguments for testing. Then this is the part when we define what specifically we want to test against. So in this example, we want to test against latest version of PyTorch Lightning. So we define that we want to pull it from GitHub, and we want to check out release 1.5.x, which means that it's the latest stable branch. At PyTorch Lightning, we have it that the master is the development branch when we are merging everything, and then we have this release / and number, which mark what the release stream you are working on. So basically, in this branch, you will have now I think yesterday we just released 1.5.9, and next time it will be 1.9.5.10. So with this let's say a rec pattern, or we have it as a branch name, so you'll be sure that you are working with the latest 1.5 Lightning version. If we update to 1.6, so we will just edit this 1.5.x to 1.6.x. That's all. Then you can have also custom command before testing, which could be used, for example, if you need to download some specific dataset for your repository. So it could be minist or anything you want. And then you can define over here which folder or which where are your tests. So we have this example for Torch Metrics, which has a specific folder integrations where we have some integrations with PyTorch Lightning. And optionally you can define additional PyTest arguments. So for example, strict, color, verbose, or anything you want. And the last part is defining what are the runtimes. In this config file, we are working only with CPU, which also give us freedom to use any GitHub Actions configurations, which at this moment we can allow to use any Linux machine, any Mac machine, any Windows machine, and as an extra, which is already kind of integrated in our workflows, you can also define your Python version. So I have prepared, I was checking what could be good candidate. Well, at this moment, this is the demo config, which kind of includes everything we have. Then if you want to add your project, so you can read everything which I just described also here in the README. So basically we say that you need to clone this repository to be able to create pull requests. Then you would define which version of what's your project, then what are the runtimes. Then if you integrate with the GPUs, so which we will probably skip at this demo, but you can also, the only difference is that it's not defined as a runtime in the YAML file, but you need to add it to the special file for GPUs. And this is the description for config, what I just described, that target repository is your project, environment variables, dependencies, which are projects which you want to clone from those resources. And the last is testing with the PyTest. So at this moment we are focusing only on PyTest integrations. So I can show what we have, for example, with Flash. So Flash, let's say that we work with so Flash has a dependency, and I think maybe it's coming from master. So I will open Flash PL master. Yeah, it's over here. So Flash has as a dependency PyTorch Lightning, and also as this kind of dependency of PyTorch, but it's also is depending on Torch Metrics. So in this case, we want to test that Flash is well aligned with the latest development of PyTorch Lightning, as well as master from Torch Metrics. So there won't be any breaking changes in the next Flash release regarding the actual development on those two repositories. Then we see that for speed reasons, we don't copy all tests. We define that we want to just test Flash examples and in test examples some scripts. Then here, as it is Slack integration, so the user on our Slack has to be identified by a specific number, which is given by Slack, and we can help you to get it correctly. And the last over here is that we run the test only on test examples, and running it actually just for Ubuntu and Python 3.8. So we can try to find some suitable project for integration. So I was checking, and Solo Learn is a project using PyTorch Lightning. As it is stated here, it seems quite also popular. And so by quick checking, I see that the structure of the project is standard. So I have setup Py for installation, so I can easily install it. I see some test folder, so I would be running this test folder. I can quickly check what their integrations says. So if I go to their tests, so I see that they are setting Python, they are using some cache, then yeah, they are caching some datasets, and running PyTest with coverage for solo, and running test arguments, test losses, test methods, test utils. So when I go to our example, so I would be cloning this repository, and here in the directories I would list the directories which are mentioned here. That's my assumption, and I can try to add this repository. So for my personal preference, I am using PyCharm. So let me just move it here. I will close all those things which I don't need. This is also not needed. Test some extra files. So I just check that I'm with the So you would clone your repository and git pull. So I just check that I have everything downloaded. So what I do next, I will create new branch which is the same as you would do. I would call it add solo, and as we ask the user, so we ask the user to create a folder with the organization or the username. So the first step here, oh, that's not the project I want to work, sorry. Terminal, I want to work with this one. That's it. So again, I will check out master, git pull. So I have the latest. I will create a new branch, add solo. Then I don't workflows at this moment, actions, and here I will create for directory which is the same as the username, and I will copy the config file as a template, which I will edit, and okay, just copy it, add at this moment. I can close all those, and so let me, so if I want to get the address, so I edit address. I will call it, so just for simplicity I want to align it with latest release. So refactor rename and call it PyTorch Lightning release. I don't need these optional things. I just check if they are using master branch. No, so they are using main branch. So I need to rename it as a main branch over here. Install require, I don't think it's really needed, as not sure if they define extra. Let me see. Okay, so they define extra, and do I really need them? Seaborn, pandas, it seems for plotting, so let's go without them at this moment. So I just comment it over here. Then yeah, I can skip this part. Then I want to copy all tests at this moment. I will just to use this username, and yeah, they don't. I don't expect they have any before. I don't expect, and that's something which I can verify, right? So if I go to Solo, to their testing, so workflows, tests, I don't see any environment variables which are defined, so I don't need those. I can see if they install something additional, just pip packages. Okay, so they use UMAP, so I will need to install it with UMAP. It's over here, so install requirement, install extras are the UMAP. Then they need, well, I don't think they need block really. We don't use the coverage. MyPy is also not needed at this moment, and code coverage, I don't report the coverage, so I don't need that either. Now this is about the caching, this is the PyTest, so now I should be just testing those folders. Arc, and strict is we don't need that one. Let me see what they tested, just to have the same. So they are running over all operation systems and all Pythons. Okay, so we can keep it simple, so we will keep all operation systems, and yeah, we can have this kind of random Python versions inside. After, okay, let's skip anything before install, and we want to align it with PyTorch Lightning latest release, and that should be it. So let's add solo learn. Push. Okay, I need to push it as a new branch. Then creating pull request. So add solo learn. Okay. So I know that it's adding a new project. Okay, let's call it enhancement at this moment. And add solo learn, that sounds good. At the first I will create it as a draft pull request. So I have created new pull request to solo learn with yeah, I can say that it was discussed. I have added the config file, that's true. Yeah, I was adding it with the runtime, that's true. And now let's see how the tests are running. So one nice thing about Lightning, about this ecosystem here, that it's running differentiably. So if everything is correct, we should get running only test for this adding solo learn. But what we see here, so that's a kind of feature of GitHub that we have it triggered by push and pull request, but if you would be forking this repository, you would have only the pull request. This is special case because I'm also owner or admin or maintainer of this repository, so I have everything doubled. But let's see what we have here. So see some details of those runs. Okay, so that seems quite fast. That could be suspicious, but why not? Okay, that's internal, so I need to check the other one. That's our internal, that everything is running fine, and yeah, as you see, it was this one, CI internal, that's passing, so everything is still fine. So, but I need to check this say compatibility, but I think I saw it already here, that CI compatibility. No, so it's just here. So, and it seems to be fine, almost. Let's see. No, that's still again the internal, my bad. I need this one. So, no, I'm still here. This one. Yeah. So what it does, it should be identifying what are the diff, so it should tell me that I should be running only for config file, this project release, so it should yield in 3 configs, which you can see also here running. So let's see how it's so we are at this moment creating the environment according to the details in the config file we provided, which may take some time. Okay, so we are done. We can also see what files I've copied and what we have inside. So we see that we have this dummy folder integrations, which is uniquely created for each run, so to not interfere with anything else. We have copied there the all tests from the repository, and now we should be able to run all those tests. So see that we are already executing some of them, and maybe it will take some time as well. Let's see. So now we are about 30% of the test suite finished. So far everything is passing. So we can, if we continue in this good direction, I was seeing that the user over here, the solo learn, has frozen his dependencies. So I think he is using 1.5.3. So as we see that we are still passing on a release branch, so we can suggest the user or the owner of the package that he can easily upgrade to the latest PyTorch Lightning version, and eventually unfreeze this as a, let's say, bigger than 1.5.3. Maybe he has some reason why he set 1.5.3 as minimal, up to any later one, and eventually freeze till 1.6 as we are testing against latest. Well, in meantime, I can try to check if this repository will be still valid against master, right? That would be interesting to know. So I copy the config file because it will be almost the same. I say that I want to have it against master. I add it here. So PL master, and what I change here, I just add that I want a master. And in the meantime, I was thinking that we can also probably using torch metrics, right? As most of the Let's skip it at this moment, just keep it simple. So I was adding that we want to test Lightning master, so I need to add it as a special, as a new file. So let's the master push, and yeah, so this is starting a new trial, but I can still follow the old one. So we are about 70% done over here, and in the new run, if I go, I'm correct, so not internal, don't do the mistake again, it should appear as a compatibility because it doesn't spin, yeah, this one, but it's still have not started yet. Still waiting. Okay, so seems some tests are taking a bit longer here. And coming back, do we have any details? Let's refresh. Do we have update? Still in queue. Okay, so I think I know that we have, yeah, that's because we have set, yeah, if I go back to ours, we have there set concurrency, so it means that needs to be finished before. So if I come here to workflows, CI, testing, and yeah, we have concurrency which says that only one job is running, but yeah, okay, so we will change it shortly, that we will cancel as we have for other repositories anything which is which is not the last commit, but yeah, that will be changed, so that will be unblocked soon. But we see that we have first passing test, so we know that it's really compatible for at least Linux machine. And you see that all tests are passing. There are some warnings. We can also see which tests are the longest running, so it's auto UMAP at this moment. In general, the Mac OS is taking a bit longer. So now it takes a bit longer to prepare the environment compared to Ubuntu, which has it ready in 1 minute. Mac takes how much? I think 5 minutes. Windows should be also, well, it's somehow in the middle, so 3 minutes, and the tests are still running. How long those tests takes? It should take about 5 minutes. Okay, so it should be soon. %. Yeah, so do we have any questions so far? It's my first Twitch streaming, so I was a bit suffering at the beginning how to set everything down. Rohit saved me, so big thanks for him. And so far we are waiting for the output, but at least at this moment it looks promising that we would be able to integrate this repository. Then maybe I can briefly show what we have here. So we have here, okay, coming back to the workflows. So those project testing is running as you see for every merge to main. So when the new config file is added, so we are running all the projects. Also it's running nightly, every midnight. we have we are running those tests, so we know what's happening. I can say that some of our internal projects are probably not behaving as we would love, because let's see. So if you join, we have over here Slack channel, which is called Alerts Ecosystem CI, and as you see, every night it's running some tests, and at this moment we have some failure with NVIDIA NeMo, but as it was added, so it had to pass at the beginning, but probably we changed, or there were some change on both sides, because as you see here we are running the latest branch, so maybe they are also doing some development on their branch, and yeah, so transformers are not passing at this moment. So for example, if the nice part about it, that the checkout can be used also as a tag. So eventually, if we have here the tag 1. I can see that it's called 1.3. So if I want to check if this is still compatible with all PyTorch Lightning versions, so I come here, and in this checkout I would just add as a string 1.3, and I would be testing the specific release against PyTorch Lightning. So let's see here if we are still running. Takes a bit longer. Okay. Still no questions so far. Okay, let's cancel this workflow just to verify. You know that okay, it was almost done. My bad. Never mind. So let's cancel it, and now it should be running this one shortly. Yeah, so you see it's starting now. Okay, so in the meantime I can go back to the pull requests, what we have here. Okay, so Ethan has prepared some update for Flash, so it will be running even more tests soon. So I have my pull request about adding Solar Learn. As I see that everything was running fine, so I can say that it's ready for review. Still, and I can click that all tests which we have been using or adding are passing also. So now at this moment, yeah, so you see that the dynamic div gave us that the matrix should be bigger. So we have here, not very visible as it is short, I cannot move it. So we have here running on PL release, and if I click this Ubuntu, I should be running PL master. And this is how simple it's adding your repository or your project to know that you are well aligned with everything which we are actually developing on PyTorch Lightning, the main repository, or any other Lightning ecosystem. The one more thing which we have and I haven't shown, you can also integrate with, can run everything with GPUs. In such case, you would be adding your config file over here at the end, and the limitation at this moment here is that it's running just Python 3.7 and Linux machine. I go here, template. So you can see that you have some hard limit for the duration. Then okay, so we are running PyTorch 1.8.1, and as it is our in-house built Docker image, so if I go here to the actions, and I should have Dockerfile here, so you can easily see what the Docker image is about. So you see that we are using PyTorch, we are running with CUDA 11.1, and we are running default Python version. So to be honest, not sure which one it is at this moment, but it's coming from Docker Hub, so you can easily check it. Let's see how far are we with testing. Everything is in progress. So I'm quite curious how this master test will be, but it will take 4-5 more minutes, as I expected the runtime will be very similar as for the release branch. So let's open the questions again, if anyone has anything. Now, on the other hand, if there are no questions, everything is clear, crystal clear. So I think that we can maybe finish this session, and I will welcome any of your projects in this ecosystem CI. So basically, with filling just this simple YAML config file, we are running all those things for you. You have, we both sides, we know that everything is working correctly for Lighties or the stable PyTorch Lightning, which is what we want. And if anything is going wrong, so you will be notified as us, as we are also part of the Slack channel. Okay, 74%. Still about 3 minutes to go, 2 minutes to go. So one more call for open questions. Okay, if there is nothing else, so I will just wait 1-2 more minutes till we see that also the master is getting green, I believe so, and then we end up the session. Still in progress. Let's see how some others are going. This one started recently. Yeah, as this Mac took a bit longer. Okay, so it seems that even Windows sometimes takes longer than I would expect. Coming back to the release, which we already tested, so this would be smooth. And it's about 4 minutes running. Checkpointer. So okay, so master is not good yet, but at least we can see what's happening here. So there's running test which expected keys. So it seems that there is added loops also. Yeah, that's the new refactoring of PyTorch Lightning. Okay, that's good to know. This one should be still fine. Okay, so I would end up the session here. We have spent a nice 45 minutes together. I got my first experience with Twitch, and hope see you soon around with PyTorch Lightning. Have a nice day. Bye.